is really clear.
It's picking up from here. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Here we go. um, Welcome to our first episode of Small Talk.
Yay, I'm episode 1.
Episode 1 with Jasmine Daniel.
Day 1.
Woo! It is currently 8:46 p.m. Jasmine's just put Aaliyah to bed. And we have both gotten our glass of red wine.
Much
Sipping it.
needed.
Cheers.
I forgot that part. I always forget that part.
And we're just going to talk. We're going to talk about stuff. We're going to talk about COVID-19 struggles because that's a thing. That's a thing that we're all living through right now. And it's been about almost a full year since they declared the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because I believe that was
It was
March.
like mid-March.
Yeah, it was mid-March.
Yeah.
I remember I was at work when I got that, when I saw like the New York Times Instagram posts, and it was like, the World Health Organization declares like worldwide pandemic. And I was like, guys, this shit is real.
I
And
know.
it was scary. Do you remember where you were?
I was at home. I was on maternity leave. I'm like, great, I'm here anyways.
So why don't you introduce yourself to maybe the two people who will be listening / watching this?
Well, I don't even know where to begin. My name is Jasmine. Let's start there. I met Hank Yell at OCAD first year. What was it? Orientation day? O-Day. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
So went to school for photography, worked probably about a million jobs, literally every single type of job you could think of. Worked in a warehouse, tourist attraction, restaurant, retail, like promo, literally name it, I probably worked there.
Yeah. Modeling.
Yeah, before pregnancy, clearly. I got that quarantine weight happening over here.
Girl, me too.
Photography, and then before the whole pandemic, I was working at a salon, which now is closed.
No
Not for
way.
good, not for
Oh,
good,
okay. Good.
just the lockdown.
Okay. Yeah. So that is Jasmine in a nutshell. Definitely like, how would you even like super creative, and you're doing so much. Like you've done so
Yeah.
much, not just like all the different types of jobs that you've had. At least in the amount of time that I've known you, you've had so many different jobs.
I just get bored. That's the thing. I get so bored. I'm like, why am I here? And if one little thing bothers me, I'll just walk out. It's just not good. I'm just like, this is my life. I don't need to be unhappy.
Yeah. And it's like now you're a mom, and you're also like you're balancing Hardly Nude. You're doing, what are you still doing Stoke?
No, we had to like give a break on that. It was just too hard to do like the collaborative thing. But
Mm-hmm.
Hardly Nude, I actually took a course online during the first lockdown.
Okay.
And it was for spray tanning because the salon owner, which is also my friend, she asked me to find a spray tan artist for the salon.
Mm.
I was like, I'll just do it. Like, why not? And she's like, okay. So I took a course, got my certificate, got all the equipment, and then, of course, haven't been able to do many sprays because of all these lockdowns. But
Yeah. I mean, why don't you
okay, we're getting there.
tell people what Hardly Nude is?
So basically, it's a spray tan business that I started. It's just me. Currently, we're selling self tanners and applicator mitts, as well as face tan water. So basically, anything tan we sell. Also, starting to transition into clothes. So right now, I have the tees that we're doing, but I was kind of thinking of doing sweats. We'll see.
Ooh, yeah.
But basically, it's just I've always been interested in sort of the beauty industry, which is why I work at a salon. Even before that, I did work at a tanning salon. So it's like I already had the background knowledge of all, like I had my smart tan certification. I had the knowledge of chemicals and what's being used and how long everything lasts and prep and everything like that, maintenance. So it just kind of seemed natural just to do it because I love being tan. I don't know who else doesn't, but it's way safer than going in the sun, to use sunless tanning.
Yep.
And also, who really has the time now that we're in a pandemic? So it's like
Yep.
this is the perfect time to sort of bring it out. But also, I don't know, just me personally, I feel more confident when I feel like I look my best.
Mm-mm.
And I felt
Yes.
like, especially during this whole past year, there's a lot of like down, like, well, I can't even speak. There's a lot of like negativity and stuff with people and their body image, like I was saying before.
Mm.
Everyone's talking about this quarantine weight gain. We're
Mm-hmm.
all stuck inside. We're all like, we can't go get our hair done. We can't get our nails done. We can't, not that these things are important, but we can't just feel good about
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah. Like there's no
So,
reason to like get all decked out anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I thought this would be one kind of thing where it's like, you feel good. Whoa. You feel good. You look good. And, you're just more empowered that way. Well, at
Yes. I
least I
love
am.
that. I love that. I feel like that has, I don't know if that's like, if, is this true? Like, because with Hardly Nude, like, I feel like you have a lot of creative freedom in terms of like the Instagram posts. Like, it's all like your photography, isn't it? Like, mostly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
think
like,
there's like two that is just Pinterest,
yeah. Yeah.
but the rest is me. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like you're modeling in them. You have like your family and your friends like Kayla and like, close friends of yours that, you know,
Yeah.
also use the product and stuff. So I feel, has that kind of helped almost like during COVID? Because it almost feels like a passion project that feels really close to home and not just something that's like, here's like a brand and I'm just going to do stuff for it. But like this actually
Yeah.
feels like pretty
So
personal.
like I actually like have been thinking about it for a while. And like I said, I worked, I think it was like 3 years ago at the tanning salon. And I honestly just fell in love. Like I just liked the way people walked in, like feeling like down or gross or whatever. Like there would just be so many comments people would make and be like, oh, like I look so gross today, or don't
Mm,
mind me, I have no makeup on. But
mm,
then when they leave, they just be happier, they'd be smiling, it's just like
mm,
extra little boost that they have.
mm-hmm.
And I needed that. So I'm like, I'm sure
Yeah.
other people need that.
Yeah.
So I just kind of started from there. And then I saved, like, I made the email, the website, and everything, but I kept it private until I like figured out the direction I wanted to go, and just kind of built from that. I'm a lot of harassing my friends and family to be in my photo, a lot of that. But yeah, it kind of just all came together.
I love it. Talking about the pandemic, but also you becoming a mom.
Yeah.
Feel like your identity has changed a lot sort of in that sort of outwardly sense because I don't think it's a lie to say that we're not like visual creatures or that we take a lot of pride or value in how we look in like social media, especially on Instagram, especially for you because you
Yeah.
have a very specifically curated look on your Instagram and a lot of it is like yourself on there. Do you feel like a lot of that has changed and how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, like already being pregnant, like changed obviously my exterior, and that was tough.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I think it was like maybe after when Aaliyah was like 1 month, I showered. Not that I don't normally shower, but like as a like new mom, you
Mm,
get like 2 seconds. You got
mm,
to get in, get out, and like you don't really get a chance to like take your time.
mhm.
So this one shower I had, I just remember having a few more minutes than normal. And I saw myself in the mirror and I started to cry. Like
Oh
I was
no.
like, this is disgusting. Like not in a bad way. It's just like to me, like I didn't look like myself.
Mhm.
I didn't feel like myself.
Mm-hmm.
I just was like so unimpressed with what I saw, and I was like, how do I fix this? How do I like feel better about myself again? And then quarantine happened, and the only way I could exercise at that point, because I was also still kind of healing, was to go out, walk Aaliyah,
Mm-hmm.
take her outside. But like at that point, we were told to stay indoors.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally couldn't do anything because it's so hard to work out with a newborn baby. Like
Yeah, I can't
you
imagine.
can't, you can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely something that you're kind of going through. Are you still kind of navigating
Yes.
that right now?
Yeah. Well, I lost close to what I was hoping for about like midsummer. And then I started gaining the weight again.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so confused because I was like, my diet's the same. Like I
Mm,
exercise so much. Then I found out I was pregnant again.
mm,
But I found that definitely the second time being pregnant, the weight came quicker and it
mm.
stuck. Like I'm still struggling to lose that weight. And like it's still, now it's winter time and we're in lockdown again and we're not even really supposed to be outside unless it's essential. So I feel like I'm back at square one with all of that.
Right. Do you feel like there's like pressure though? It's like, is it pressure? Is it external pressures from other people or like stuff you're seeing? Because I can imagine that
Hmm.
there's a lot of like on Instagram, on Pinterest, on wherever social media, like those moms that get pregnant and then they get fit right away, especially when they're like
Yeah.
really fit moms to begin with. And then like, oh, it was so easy. Like I just ate healthy and I like just did my own thing and I just walked every now and then, drank a lot of water. And
Yeah,
now
like
I'm like,
no.
yeah. Oh my God. I hate it when anyone uses
Oh my
water or
God.
walking as like the solution to everything.
I
And
just
I'm
got these
no.
6 apps from walking. That's
Yeah.
all.
Like,
No,
no.
you did not.
Tell me what hit training you did while you were pregnant.
Right? No, that's definitely a huge thing as well. Like it's everywhere you see. And even those moms that like their birth photos in the hospital, they have like
Mm,
blowouts and full face. I'm like, I'm sorry, like
yeah.
that is not how I looked.
Yeah.
I had a double chin, like makeup from 24 hours ago, so you know it was stale. Like there was nothing
Uh,
photo ready about those moments other
oh
than
God.
Aaliyah.
No, other than the baby that
Well,
just
she
came
looked
out of my
great, but
uterus.
but I was like, please hide my face in all these photos. It was
Oh
so
my
bad.
God. I mean, that's like so hard to like even that's like weird coming from you because
Yeah.
like even all of my friends when they see so like when I posted those not engagement what you're
I'm like,
pregnant.
girl, I'm not engaged.
When did that happen? Fast forward. Like your pregnancy photos. Um, Side note for anyone
Yeah.
listening, if there is anyone listening, I took photos of Jasmine when she was pregnant with Aaliyah. I had the lovely privilege of
Mhm.
taking your pregnancy photos. And when I posted them on my Instagram stories, people were like, "Oh my God, who is she? She's so pretty. Like what the hell? Like I can't believe she's like so flawless when she's pregnant, blah blah." Like anytime people are like flocking and asking me who this person is, like you're
Aw,
definitely
that's nice to hear because that's not how I felt
oh my
at
God,
all.
girl. I should have told you when it happened. I feel like it was just like, yeah, I know she's pretty. She's like my pretty friend. Like, let's move on.
No, that's nice to hear because, yeah, I did not feel like that.
Honest thoughts on being a mom. Just be like super candid, like first
Wow, like
response.
honestly, it's fucking hard. Like,
Yeah.
like, okay, I knew everyone tells you when you're pregnant, oh, like, good luck, you're never
Mm,
gonna sleep again, or like, it's hard, you could change your mind, and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, yes, it's hard. No, that would never make me want to change my mind. I love my daughter, but yes, it is fucking hard. Like,
mm,
there are days when I'm like, how am I gonna get through today? Like,
mm,
how? And I literally, for my own sanity, I need to play like a cartoon or a movie and just like literally sit on the floor, put earphones in, let her watch it, which is totally bad parenting probably.
Oh my
And
God,
just
who's to
like
judge?
literally just watch YouTube videos or listen to a like I just need my time, play music. Like I'll just give myself that 1 hour and pretend like I'm alone. Like, is
Mm-hmm.
that horrible to say? Because
No.
like it's so hard. Like her needs obviously come first. So you're starving, but she needs to eat. You obviously
Mm.
feed her first. By the time you get to eat, it's like already dinner. Like
Oh my
there's
God.
no time for anything. Like all these mothers I was mentioning before, like fresh photo shoot faces and blown out hair. Yeah, I'm lucky if I wash my face once a week, like realistically here. There's no time for that because I'll even try and I'll hear screaming and pulling at my leg,
Mm.
and she's into something. She's into the Q-tip. She's into that. Like she threw, what did she throw? My face mask in the toilet the other day. Like
Oh my
I'm
God.
like literally just have zero. There's no Jasmine.
Oh no.
Like during those times she's awake, there's no
Yeah.
Jasmine. It's just mom.
When do you find Jasmine then? Like in a day, do you find it? Do you have moments for it?
Honestly, no, not like every day. There isn't like an every day. Sometimes when she naps, I'll give myself me time. So
Mhm.
I'll do the face mask. I'll watch TV. I'll watch freaking Love Island and eat a pizza. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'll do. But most of the time when she's napping, I'm cleaning or cooking for her or prepping for when she's awake. Like
Yeah.
I'll take a 2-second shower maybe because you never know like how much time you really have. Like her sleep pattern's so off right now. So
Yeah.
even going outside, like it's a struggle. You have to dress her in layers while she's screaming at you, while she's kicking. And then you have to put her boots on, her hat on, then you have to get dressed. Then
Yeah.
you gotta pack your stuff. And like I've got like 7 steps outside my door. I have to lug the stroller in one hand, her in the other, down the steps. Like honestly, I hate going outside because of that. I can't wait for summer when I could just take her out in her freaking pajamas and
The
like
amount of work. Oh my God.
just to get apples at the grocery store.
Oh my God.
Like so much work. It's more work than it's worth. So there's no point in even going. Like, okay, that sounds bad too. Like she does need her outside time. But like if it's too cold, sorry baby girl, we're staying in. Like I can't layer you this much.
Oh, there's no point.
No, it's just like so exhausting and so tiring. But I
Yeah.
just love her so much. So I'm like, ah. Sometimes I'll just scream at her. Not like at her like that. I'll just be like, ah. And she looks at me like I'm a psycho. I'm like, I just need to breathe.
As someone who's like super creative and has a lot of different, passion projects and like brands and things like self-made things that you're working on, that's a hard thing to do. Having a baby on top of all of that, that's
Yeah.
like how do you do it? Because you said like you said it yourself, you barely have time to like wash your face or how do you
Yeah.
have the time to like do all your other stuff?
It's just hard. Like I'll let her say I'm trying to take product photos. I just have to let her make her mess. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the only way I can do it. I'll be in the bedroom, let's say, and I like to put stuff on the bed and take photos of that. And the whole time she'll be digging through the clean laundry and throwing it in with the dirty laundry. So
Mm,
now I just have to wash everything again.
mm,
Like I just have to tell myself, you know what? It's okay. It's
yeah,
gonna be more work. Like there's no easy time because
yeah,
even when she's asleep, there's so much I have to do. I like prioritize. So I'm like, okay, she's sleeping. I can clean the washroom at this time because I can't be spraying chemicals while she's awake and while she's
mm,
tugging at me. So
mm,
like there's certain things I can do with her awake and there's certain things I can do with her asleep.
mm,
So it's like precious when she's sleeping. Like that time, it's
yeah,
all used up.
yeah,
So in terms of my passion projects and just like even if I have to mail out a shipment for an online order,
yeah,
she's coming with me to the post office. Like it's
yeah,
stressful. I'm
yeah,
carrying her. It's like I carry her because the stroller's too much at that point. it's like a 10-minute walk there and back, but like with her, it's like 20 minutes each way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a lot harder than it needs to be. But I know that I just need to keep pushing because there
It's not gonna
is
get
going to be
done.
no, yeah, and there's no easy time, right? So
Yeah.
why wait?
So it's
Like you
like
just,
part of it is like you're learning to just let go and just accept the
yeah,
situation.
yeah. So it's just like I know that there's not going to be this, I don't want to say help, but I just know that it's me and her like throughout the day. Jesse's at work. Um, I have these certain things I have to do for my business. I have certain things I have to do because I was also working for the salon from home.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to do that, hardly nude, be a mom, and then somewhere between it, find time to eat and
Mm-hmm.
shower.
And be and do stuff that you like, like,
Yeah.
or be Jasmine, like you said, like it's hard to find
But
that
that's
time.
rare. Like that's like once a week I get to be Jasmine. Like
Oh my God.
which I'm learning is normal for every mom, but I think it's even more so just because of this pandemic. Like
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were even saying like, oh, I never had time, like I never got to shower either and all this stuff. And I'm not comparing, like
Mm-hmm.
everything's different, but at the same time, I also see those same moms dropping their kids off
Mm.
at their parents to watch, or like their parents are retired so they can watch them, or an
Mm.
uncle and aunt, like they have more resources. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying their complaints aren't valid, everyone's are,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just saying I see that, and then at the same time I see myself and I'm like, you know what, I'm just not going to complain, I'm just going to push through it. You know me, I don't like to really,
Yeah.
like,
You
I'll
don't,
never reach out to someone and be like, this is fucking hard.
yeah,
I'm just going to do
never.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
and like you kind of touched upon it, but like not having like the physical support or like the physical being able to go to like mommy groups or
yeah, like it's not there.
play
And like,
dates.
yeah, like you know how hard it is having a baby that doesn't know how to socialize with other
Mm,
babies.
I was going to
Like,
ask you about that. How's that
yeah, like
going?
in the summertime, I took her to the park a few times with this other baby, and it's my friend's baby. He's so cute, and he's a few months older than her. But she's so aggressive. Like, she doesn't know how to share. She doesn't know how to play. And I'm like
Right.
trying to guide her, but there's only so much you could do when she doesn't have that sort of interaction with many babies.
Mm-hmm. Sims?
Mhm.
I play Sims.
Of course, you made me.
Yeah.
You made my family.
I'm a big Sims player. And
Yeah.
my brain always goes to like Sims because when you're playing Sims and there's like a toddler, you have a toddler baby,
Yeah.
um, like you grow its like different skills and it has a different skill set than like the adults, has like motor
Yeah.
skills and creative skills and like communication skills or whatever. And you like work them up. And when they age up, it'll like it'll age up the different skills that they already had. So if they had
Yeah.
no communication skills when they're a baby, then as an
Then
adult
they
they
have
have,
none.
yeah, they start with a lot lower communication skill. It's my brain because like Sims is just like a life simulation, which is literally
Yeah.
sometimes it kind of helps us think of that way because we're so in life that we forget what it's like.
Yeah.
But that makes me like kind of a little worried. And I'm sure you're obviously worried about that too.
Yeah. Like
Um,
I actually read an article the other day,
mhm.
and it was about how face masks um, are kind of slowing down children's social awareness, because if you're happy with a baby,
Mm.
they see your smile, they see your like
Ah,
high, yeah, your high pitched voice. It's like, oh, hi. And
yeah,
that's how they know how to react.
yeah,
So what they were saying is that babies during this time, like with the mask on, your voice is muffled. They can't tell if you're smiling. So they can't sort of read, because they read your face to know how you're feeling.
yeah, yeah,
So if they can't read your face, they don't know how you're feeling. And they were saying that most babies, just when people are like oohing and awing over them, they keep a straight face,
mm,
and they're just kind of looking like confused. And that's literally Aaliyah. Every time I take her grocery shopping, everyone's like, oh, she's so cute, and they're smiling at her. I know they're smiling because I can tell by their eyes. You know, you
Yeah.
smile with your eyes too,
Yeah.
and your cheeks and everything, but she can't see that. So to
Mm,
her, she's just looking and she'll just stare at them. And I have to be like, oh, sorry, she's shy
that's
because she
so
doesn't
interesting.
understand. Yeah.
Right.
And she's over a year. Like, if they didn't have the mask, she would be able to read the reactions.
She'd
But I feel like,
recognize. Yeah.
yeah, but because she doesn't, she has no clue what's happening. She's just staring at them because she doesn't know their mood.
Wow. That's a whole other level of like stuff you gotta think about.
Yeah, that's another reason, like, why we never leave the house too much. Because as long as she's home with me, like, she
Mm,
could see my face.
mm-hmm.
But obviously, as soon as you go out, you have to wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like, it's easier just to keep her in here. She seems happier inside because
Yeah.
she gets that sort of connection.
Yeah.
Outside, she's just kind of like, what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a lot of scary things, a lot of things unfamiliar.
Yeah, she's
Sure.
just way happier when she can read the facial expression. So,
Like how much of Jesse's role do you think is has been really important? How much do you feel like he could, or not just him specifically, but you know, dads in this situation and kind of the
yeah,
role of dads for newborns and new moms and things like that. Let's talk about that for a bit.
well, I definitely realized through all this that moms do a lot, a lot more.
Okay. I feel
Um,
that.
and even hearing my mom talk about her experience with me and my sister, she basically did everything. Hearing his mom, like, and I don't understand why it's always put on the women. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
really, like, I didn't realize, obviously, that moms do a lot, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize until obviously
You became
I
a mom.
became a mom, the full
Mm-hmm.
extent of all of that. So I just feel like in general, dads need to step it up. Jesse stepped it up though.
That's good.
Like, yeah, like he has so much fun with Aaliyah and he plays with her all the time. And like we have like a pretty even, like I change a diaper, you change a diaper. I change one, you change one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Um, but like takes time to get there.
Do you feel like it's like strengthened almost like the trust between you guys or like because or it's almost like seeing him be a dad has almost changed.
Um, I wouldn't even say it was seeing him be a dad because I feel like I'm also, which isn't necessarily fair, but because I feel like I just expect it already. I'm like, no, you should be. Like,
Yes.
so even seeing that happen and like blossom, I never once was like, oh wow, that's so sweet. I'm like, no,
Right.
this damn
That's how
right,
it
like
should
this is
be. Yeah.
happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
fuck
Honestly.
that. I'm not getting mushy about this. But I think it was actually after my miscarriage
Mm,
that I
mm,
like saw things differently.
mm. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that. That happened
Yeah.
last year,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. It was August 3rd to 5th.
What happened?
So basically it was Aaliyah's time to nap, or no, she had just woken up from her nap, and this was on August 3rd. And it was like, I want to say it was like 5 roughly. She had a later nap for some reason that day. She was tired.
Mm,
And I had to go pee. So I was like, oh, can you just go get her? She's awake. And he said, yeah, no problem. And he went into the room and I went into the washroom. And then I realized I was bleeding. So, like, automatically knowing what that means for the most part, because not every case means that.
yeah.
I was already crying and I like ran out of the washroom. I was like, oh my God, I'm bleeding.
Mm,
And then he was stressed and Aaliyah was just there kind of looking around and he was like, oh my God, like what do we do? So I called my mom and she was like, oh my God, go to the hospital right now. There's a lot of oh my gods in this, but that's literally what we were saying. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like what
Yeah.
is happening? So I had to go to the hospital. So I took an Uber, and obviously you can't have visitors. So he had to stay home with Aaliyah. They couldn't come. So I went to emergency, which is not emergency.
Mm.
Like they also, I feel like they should prioritize based on what the symptoms are. This woman ahead of me was saying how she may or may not have stomach, or she has stomach pain, sorry. But she was like, I don't know, like it just feels a little harsher than normal. But she's like, I may or may not like be constipated. But she's like, but it's a sharp pain. So sorry, what? Why don't
Why?
you just try to
Yeah.
poo before you go to the hospital?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was just crazy to me. Then the guy ahead of her, I got to hear it all because the way they have it sectioned, I
Mm.
was in the waiting room, and then there was like all these booths. He fractured his wrist.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, okay, like I feel like, yeah, sure, these need to be looked at, but like also, like you
Like,
should prioritize.
yeah, like screen everybody.
Yeah. So basically, I was there for six or 6.5 hours,
Oh my
and I
God.
had to get blood work, and I had to do a urine test, and there was something else I had to do. Oh, well, I had to do the ultrasound at the end. Um, and then St. Joseph Hospital sucks. So when the ultrasound technician was doing her thing, I asked her, I was like, is everything fine? Like, what's
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, sorry, I can't tell you. The doctor will tell you. And then after she was like, oh, get dressed. First of all, I knew if it was good, she would have told me. So I was
Mm.
already knowing it was bad news.
Mm-hmm.
But when she left the room, she left the paper on
Oh, like the
the
report.
desk. Yeah. And I looked at it and it said miscarriage. So with a question mark. And I literally took a photo on my phone and I sent it to Jesse. I was like, oh my God. Like, I really hope that the question mark's the main point here, because
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I'm shaking. Like, I was shaking and I was crying in the room. So, anyways, I had to wait another 40 minutes after that for the doctor to tell me it's probably a miscarriage. And he said, if you could come back in, I think he said Thursday.
And
The
what day
third
was it?
the third was like a Sunday, I believe.
So you had to wait. How many days is that? 4 days?
Yeah, so
5 days?
he's like, come back on Thursday or Wednesday. Maybe the third was a Monday, but not like, I just remember the dates. I don't remember the days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyways, the third. He said, come back in a few days and we'll take another blood test, another ultrasound. He's like, sometimes it's just the positioning. So you can't always see the heartbeat because the placenta could block it.
Yeah. Right.
So I was hopeful. Like, obviously, I was tearing up, but
Yeah.
I cried a lot. But I took an Uber back and I told Jesse sort of what the review was. And I was like, I'm just going to stay positive. Like, I just like got lots of rest. And the day before I was supposed to go back, so this was the 5th, Aaliyah was taking a nap again. So I took a nap with her because I was like, I need to rest. And when she woke up first, so I kind of got up to get to her. And as I was like crawling over the bed, I felt a drop in my underwear,
Mm.
which girls know the feeling very well, but this felt heavier.
Mm.
And so I just ran straight to the bathroom and I screamed for Jesse to get Aaliyah. And now I don't want to cry. And then when I put my pants down, I saw the baby in my underwear, like just sitting there. Like I saw the head, the eyes, the feet, the hands. Like the baby was very small, but like it looked exactly like the drawings in our high school textbooks. Like,
Mm.
and I say he because I feel like it was a boy, but he was just sitting there. in my pad. So I screamed at the top of my lungs, and Jesse came and he couldn't even look, like he was freaking out. It was just like very stressful. And then the next day my parents took Aaliyah so that I could have time to rest, which was nice, because I needed like not to be a mom at that point. I just needed time
Yeah.
to be Jasmine again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Be like
sorry, I don't want to
human.
cry too much. Yeah,
No, like this is like why we're having this, right? Because I feel like I was thinking about this today and realized that as much as miscarriage is something that people do talk about, I don't know why, but I personally feel like it doesn't often get talked about in the same conversation as grief. And it
yeah,
is grief.
because
Like,
you're kind of expected just to be like, oh, well, you know what? It's common.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
like, try again.
yeah. And
Like,
like,
that's how people talk about it. They're just like, oh, so you're going to try again? Like, can I
exactly.
have time to fucking feel human again? Like,
Yeah. How are you sort of coping with it now? Because that was just last year. And
yeah,
grief takes I've learned recently, it takes very different amount of time for different people, and
yeah,
different people everyone handles it very differently.
differently.
Yeah.
Well, I like to internalize things, which is not good, but I do keep it to myself. Honestly, like, I always think about it. Like,
Mm.
my due date was March 5th. And like, I feel like a few times a week, I will picture like my life with two babies in it. I just want Aaliyah to have a friend. And like, that was my baby. Like,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
the whole reason I moved is because I needed more space
Mm-hmm.
for another child.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm in this space where I thought there'd be four of us, but there's only
Yeah.
three. So
Yeah.
it's just like, I
It's a
said
bit,
like way too many times in that, but there's no words really to describe.
it's a bit of like a reminder almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I feel like every time I do, this is like TMI, but every time I do feel that drop,
Mm.
just period drop.
Mm-hmm.
Girls, you know what I mean. Guys probably won't understand or don't want to understand. 'Cause,
Yes.
yeah, but every time I feel that drop, I'm just reminded. It's a reminder constantly.
Do you feel like that was, I mean, that's not even a question. That's traumatic, like what you went through. Do you realize that? Or like maybe that's not fair to say. Like, do you feel like it was something that it was almost traumatic, something that you went through, the thing that you went through?
Yeah, it's always in my mind. And like I was saying, I always, like, some days I'll just break down and cry because I'll think of, oh, like I would have put two, like planning how I would have decorated the room, or like even now where I'm almost at my due date,
Yeah. Yeah.
my life would have been so different in 2 weeks. So it definitely is always going to be in my mind, and I'll never forget like the visual. I know I heard
Mhm.
a lot of girls, it just, they don't actually see.
Yeah.
So to have it clearly lied out, and then even the doctor telling me, oh, like it's very common, like 1 in 4. Okay, yeah, 1 in 4 pregnancies this happens, but that doesn't make it hurt less.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but the
That's,
way they tell you and the way they kind of like, even like when I was telling my friends and family, some family members were like, oh, are you gonna try again? And I'm just like,
yeah. No, you're not ready for that. And
not the
let's not even,
question,
yeah,
not the
exactly.
question.
Yeah.
Which is also, I feel like most people don't know how to react to things like that, which is another reason why I just keep to myself, because I know I don't want to hear the wrong reactions.
Yes. I
So I
feel
don't,
that.
yeah. So it's easier just to keep to yourself
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
don't get upset or disappointed in the reaction or the questions that come along.
Mm-hmm. There is this whole other thing and this whole other part of mental health and grief and things like that that I hope people do sort of start to open up a conversation about,
Yeah, like
because
feel more comfortable sort of exploring the bad and the
exactly,
good.
exactly, and understand how, like you were saying, how to respond when someone, so that people feel more comfortable to talk about it, because it's
Yeah.
such a big part, you know. And I don't want to like say this if you're not, because everyone is at a different stage in their life when they're grieving or when they're going through things or when they've gone through something. Some people choose to kind of push that stuff aside and try to like focus on what's in front of them and just kind of live on and hope that it kind of subsides. Some people just face it straight on. Some people go up and down, and that shit happens way later on in their life, for me, for example.
Yeah.
But I just I would much like, for there to be a world where people kind of understand that that's a very possibility in somebody's life, that they could have gone through something really hard. And you may not see that from Instagram, and you may not see that
Hmm.
from whatever, their social media or how they present themselves even in real life.
Yeah.
But that everyone is really like, some people are going through or they have experienced something really tough and really hard, and that people will understand what's the right way to go about talking about it.
Yeah.
Because like
I
I don't
think
know what.
that's it too. Like
Yeah,
most people don't know what to say or don't know what to ask or don't know how to react because they don't normally have to
yeah,
because it's not something that's normalized, like I
exactly.
was
It's like, and it's exactly like that, what you were saying, like people don't even know what to ask. They don't even know they should ask.
saying.
It's like, should I? Is that too sensitive? Is it too scary? Like, am I going to trigger somebody by asking them stuff? And like, I fully understand that too, coming from a place where I have experienced some really hard, traumatic things in my life. I understand why, you know, a lot of my friends, after knowing me for so long, they'll
Hmm.
never ask me certain things because I know that they don't want to like hurt my feelings, or they don't want to offend me, or they don't want to like bring
Or
something up,
trigger.
trigger something, yeah, in me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing. Do you feel like you would rather people ask, or kind of not probe, but in like a caring, kind of understanding place of kindness?
See, that's where I'm conflicted too because some days I do need that outlet
Yeah.
where I'm like wanting to sort of express how I'm feeling. But
Mm.
then other days I'm like, I'd rather just keep to myself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard.
Like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about even explaining to other people. Like, it really is just a toss up. It depends.
It's true.
It's my extrovert introvert. It's my 50-50.
It's your
Depends
50
on the
50.
day.
Oh gosh. Well, I want to say thank you for sharing that story, sharing your story. And, you know, I'm sure if anyone is listening to this, whoever is listening
Don't
to
say
it,
if.
okay, to all of y'all
Believe in
listening,
yourself. Yeah,
you
that's
like
better.
thousands of people who are tuning in right now,
Exactly. I love it.
that your story will make other people also feel understood, or make people feel like if they've gone through something similar, if they've gone through something really similar, or they've just gone through something really, really hard in their life and they feel like everybody else seems to be getting along quarantine fine, or not even quarantine,
Yeah.
but just like life fine,
Yeah, I was
or
gonna say life in general.
life
It's
in
so crazy.
general, stuff that you've gone through and you feel like it's coming back, or you feel like you're hit with emotions that like happened a long time ago, or about things that happened a long time ago, but you're like, oh, why am I so like upset about this still, that
Yeah.
that's normal, and that's fucking like, that is life, whether or not we were out and about and or we were stuck at home. It's just that, our brains have more time to think. Our brains have more space to go to those darker places.
Yeah.
But if we were out and about, it was going to happen at some point. You know, something was going to trigger you. And in a way, maybe this is a good time to sort of prep yourself or sort of, understand why you're thinking that way and why things are kind of harder right now.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
yeah. So hopefully, and I'm sure, not even hopefully.
It will. Stop with this. Yeah,
Okay,
it
fine.
will.
I will be more confident.
Make me drive to Ottawa to punch you in the boob.
My deflated boobs. Okay, TMI.
Stop. Stop.
I've stopped wearing bras. That's why.
Oh my God, girl. Do you want to talk about deflated?
Oh, you know what? Yeah. So if mine are deflated, I have no excuse.
No.
You have an actual excuse. You fed life with that.
Yours are not deflated.
Oh God, you don't know. All right. Last topic. Lack of in real time. Let's talk about that. We have friends abroad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we also have friends close to us. What makes it so different? Because if life was normal, we still wouldn't be able to see our friends abroad. We still have to do this kind of face to like Zoom thing or
Yeah.
FaceTime thing to kind of keep those
Virtual
virtual, yeah, to keep those friendships alive. Why is it so much harder now? Like I'm thinking like Aya, like we
Because
can't see her now, but we couldn't see her then. Why is it so much harder now?
I feel like it's just the idea, right? Because
Okay.
she's always in New York. But the idea that, oh yeah, I could just take a flight and visit her.
Like the
Knowing
possibility.
that the options are there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I could just, you know what, I could drive to Ottawa and visit Henkel or even Shanice, my friend. I could just take a flight to Bali and I'll see
Yeah.
her. Like the
Make a trip out of
possibilities
it.
there.
Yeah.
But now because it's not even an option, we feel more closed in. It's like,
Mm,
okay, well, my friend's all the way over there, and not that I would normally be over there to see them, but now I can't even if I wanted to.
mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's just that whole, I don't know, opportunity to do that is closed off for us. So we feel even more closed in.
With the whole Zoom thing, I feel like people just kind of like slot you in like just before dinner or whatever. And they'll be like,
Yeah, like,
oh, like I
oh
have to
no.
like go cook. And you're like, oh, okay.
Okay, I thought we were hanging out.
Yeah, I barely got to the point where I was like had a mental depression moment, but like, okay, we can end the conversation here. Bye.
Can you book me in next week to continue?
Yeah, yeah. And a part of me is like, I get it. I get how some people kind of like need the more like not shallow. I don't want to say shallow because I don't think that's the right word, but like
Surface
surface,
level.
yeah, more surface level conversations in their day to day, catch up with their friends on a very like surface
Yeah,
level, and then go about. And I get that. Like sometimes having more of those in a week or whatever, or having it consistently helps their mental
yeah,
health. But for me, and I think also for you, we're the type of
yeah,
people that like to get deep.
yeah. Like if I'm booking
Okay.
someone, like there's no end. I'm not just like, okay,
Yes.
so like it's just
You're
this is our
there.
time.
Yeah.
I'm free at this time. We can start at this time. Like
And then we'll
let's see
go.
where
Yeah.
this goes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I miss that. And like, yeah, like just like whatever, not having an end or not like just like chilling and just vibing and
yeah,
whatever until like somebody gets like super tired or whatever. Like then we
yeah,
call it an end. But I definitely miss that. And I wish sometimes a part of me kind of realized thought like, I mean, I kind of felt this, but I
yeah,
felt like I didn't want to be a burden to some people, to my friends, because now I know we only have that 45 minutes or whatever to like bring up some of the
yeah.
other like longer discussions, not even like really deep, depressing stuff, just like the
No,
stuff.
just like actual catch ups. Like
Yeah. Like for
like this
real.
is what has happened. Like this
Yeah.
is what you missed, or
And
this
like
is how I
the full story. I can't even get to it because I know I don't want to like take up, especially if
too
it's like a
much time.
too much time because I know that like people have to go and I want to give enough time for everybody. Like I feel like I'm fucking what do you call it? what, mediating? Mediating?
Yeah,
I feel like I'm mediating like a group chat, and I'm like, let me, you get 10 minutes, and then you get 10
No,
minutes.
you get 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually found myself doing that at one point. I'm like, oh my God, I'm at work. Like, stupid.
I know. See, it's just like, yeah, exactly. Spontaneity. Like the whole feeling of that is gone
Mm-hmm.
in the virtual friendships.
A couple things, little last thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So this shit is depressing. You know, all the shit that we talked
Mm-hmm.
about. Mostly it's depressing. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Talk about it or keep it to yourself. What's your stance on that?
No, I mean, I feel like no one will truly feel better if they keep it to themselves. I feel like you can't heal unless you sort of express what needs to be healed. So I say whichever way you want to do it. You want to talk to friends, family, maybe social media is how you want to sort of put it out there. Whatever you need to do to heal, I feel like that's the route you should sort of take. And like I know everyone's different. So like my way of doing something isn't going to be helpful to someone else's healing or someone else's journey. So I just think keep it to yourself, or well, I would keep it to myself, but if you need to sort of express it, express it. Like even when I say keep it to myself, I feel like I do speak out loud. Like I told you, I talk to myself. And to me, that is sort of getting it out there. So like I feel like if I say the words out loud, regardless of no one else being in the room, to me, that's like putting it out and getting it off my chest. So whether you're speaking to yourself or to friends, family, to strangers, I just feel like whatever your healing process is, that's what you need to do for you.
True or false? A
Yeah.
story of struggle is a story of hope.
Yeah, true. I don't know why I paused for so long. I was just thinking
That's
about
totally
like,
fair. You can think about it. It can be false for
yeah,
some people. I feel it.
yeah. I
Right?
feel like you can't, yeah. I feel like everything should kind of in turn bring hope. Like even success without struggle,
Agreed.
like hopeful. So
Agreed. And I think that,
just stay hopeful.
yeah, we forget it. Sometimes people just be like, yeah, like I'm hopeful that blah, 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 blah. But you forget that like it just because you struggle or just because you're going through struggles doesn't
Yeah,
mean you can't be hopeful. For me,
exactly.
it's like the fact that you are struggling to me says that you are hopeful for a better day, because why would
Yeah.
you continue to put yourself through, well, not put yourself through that, but like, why would you continue to
Push
cope,
through.
push
Yeah.
through? Why would you continue to like do that if you didn't, in some way, one tiny little way in your heart, that you felt like there was a better day
Yeah.
worth fighting for? So let's end on that. So everybody stay hopeful. And thank you so much, Jasmine, for being on my personal podcast project, whatever this is.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Episode
of
1, that's
course.
so crazy.
Episode 1. And I hope everybody, stay hopeful. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
all I want to say. Anything
please.
else you want to say?
No.
No.
Nope. I'm good.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording, but we'll keep talking for a while.